Hello, I'm Caren Baginski, and welcome to our Restorative Yoga with Props class for self-compassion and self-forgiveness. I chose this topic out of necessity for myself. I've been noticing lately that I have the tendency to be really hard on myself based on past actions or mistakes that I've made, instead of giving myself a little bit of grace that I was trying the best I could at that time with what I knew. If you can relate, give this video a like, and then let's get into this practice. You'll need 2 bolsters, 1 round and 1 flat if you have them, and 2 blankets. Let's begin seated in whatever posture works for you that's comfortable. Feel free to prop yourself up if you need. And once you arrive there, we'll form Padma Mudra, which is lotus, at the heart. So take your palms together, and then open all the fingers, leaving the thumbs and the pinkies touching. Let the fingers spread comfortably open, face them up toward the sky, and place this just in front of your heart space. Let the elbows and the shoulders go soft, and allow the eyes to close or gaze downward. Take a fuller, more expansive breath into the whole body now. And then breathe out all your air and keep breathing out until you no longer have anything left. The navel comes in toward the spine and it feels as though the cup of your hands is empty. Then breathe in fuller, expansive, more completely into the back, the sides, the front, as if you could fill up the space of your hands with your breath. And with a slow and controlled exhale through the nose, breathe out. Keep going at your own pace here, slowing down the breath and allowing it to bloom, just like the lotus flower that rests above the pond. Feel your breath go deep down into the roots of your pelvis, deep down into the mud of the journey that came before this moment. And also feel the lightness as you breathe in. That sense of resting above the troubles of the past. Of softening the mind and letting go of some of the rumination with your exhale. Recognizing all the lessons and the things that you've learned because of those past situations. And allow there to be space for all of this here at the heart. It's okay and human to make mistakes. And it's okay and human to forgive yourself for those mistakes. Nourishing this heart space with one more breath. Use your exhale to gently close the fingertips and bow the chin in toward the heart. Noticing what you feel here as you release the breath and you release the hands. Let the eyes start to open, and we'll reach for our props and move into the poses. Take this quality of tenderness with you as you practice. Into supported child's pose first. So bring your rectangle or your flat bolster up lengthwise across one half of the mat. Take 1 blanket and opening it up into a basic fold, place that blanket across the mat, just below the bolster. You can take and roll up the edge of the blanket as a support for your ankles if you know that when you rest here with your ankles down onto the floor, your feet tend to get cramped or fall asleep. pulling the bolster close into you. This might be enough. As you reach down and lower onto the bolster, notice if your hips are higher than your heart. If they are, then I recommend finding another blanket, placing it into a rectangle fold, which is very similar to the shape of the bolster that you have in front of you. Just stack it on top and then see, as you come down, if that extra support is just what you needed for your abdomen and your head. Let the palms rest down, elbows soft and heavy in front of the shoulders, sinking into the pelvis, and turn a cheek to the bolster or blanket and rest. You might choose to close your eyes here. Make any last adjustments so that you'll be more comfortable. And now begin to let go of all the muscles gripping onto the bones. Allow the whole body to get heavier and held by the support of these props. They are here for you, so move them around however you need. I'll let you know when we're halfway through, so you might turn the other cheek to the bolster or blanket. For now, just breathe and relax. Turn your cheek to the other side now if you like. And then rest again in silence and stillness until I bring you out. Taking a few breaths here, start to think about moving and going slowly. Lift your chin and your head. Place your palms back inward by your shoulders. Lift your hips and walk your knees back. Extend the right leg long behind you, tuck the toes under and reach back into the calf through the heel. Do the same thing to the other side, feeling all of that fresh energy open into the front side of the leg. Now release the knees down and come to sit on your heels. Remove the blanket that was underneath you, forming it into a double square fold as we move into supported side lying stretch. From the basic fold, folding a blanket 3 times, fold it again a 4th time into a square fold, and then from there another time until you have a pretty thick small blanket. We'll do this 2 times with both of the blankets, placing them at one side of the mat. Then take your flat bolster, place that at the other end of the mat, and pull your round bolster in, if you have it, into the middle of the mat. Sitting on your right hip, place your leg in front of this flat bolster and the left knee on top of the flat bolster with the ankle down to the side. Snugging the round bolster right into your waist. Inhale and lengthen as you lift up, and then exhale and slide that right arm through to the floor, pulling the blankets in for your head. Adjust the height of the blankets so the head and the neck are even, and it feels very comfortable for your hips to be on the floor. Waist is anchored into the bolster, and your knee is relaxed on top of the flat bolster. 2 options. You can keep your arm that's on top of the body here by your side the whole time. If you'd like to feel a little bit more opening in the side body, then inhale the arm overhead and exhale, rest the palm down to the floor, letting the bicep come alongside the face. Close your eyes. Then grow heavy with your body weight, noticing if you're gripping any of the muscles. Relax them all. As this tender space of the heart is open and expanded in this position. Feel your way into the pose through the breath. Relaxing on the exhales. Staying present with the feeling in the body. And if any thought comes up or any rumination, just gently bringing yourself back to the feeling of coming into relaxation and rest. We'll remain in silence now until I bring you out. As you inhale, feel the ribs float upward with the breath. The exhale, soften downward. If you have the arm overhead, bring it in by your side. Plant the palm to the floor. Push into the floor and lift up sideways using your hands and your arms as you need. Spin away from the round bolster. And then turn to the opposite hip. One leg hooks in front of the bolster, other knee on top of the flat one. Round bolster near the waist. Exhale and lower yourself, sliding the arm through, resting the side of your head on the blankets. Once your shoulders and your hips are stacked here, you may rest the arm either on your other hip or the top arm overhead toward the floor. Take a few breaths in and out just to relax completely into the feet, the legs, and the whole upper body. Remain here in stillness and silence, staying present with yourself, including thoughts as they come and go, but seeing them like clouds across the sky, always moving, always changing, not permanent. Transition out of this pose slowly, mindfully. If the arm was overhead, bring it by your side now. Push into the floor and lift up sideways. Turning to face away from the round bolster one more time. We'll keep the flat bolster as it is and just slide the round bolster off the mat to the side. turn around and take one of the blankets, opening it up a few times. This is going to come on top of the abdomen as we lie down in basic relaxation pose. This other blanket, unfold it once and turn it so the neatly folded side is facing you. This will be a rest for your head. With the bolster here underneath your knees, you might enjoy keeping this flat bolster here, or you could use the round bolster if you have one underneath your knees, your choice. I like to pull the bolster up closer underneath the thighs, giving the knees a little bit more height and space. And then take this other blanket over top of your abdomen as you lie down onto your back. Rest your head here on the edge of the blanket and arrange this other blanket right on top of the upper thighs, the whole abdomen, above the navel, toward the base of the ribs. Tuck it in a little bit so you feel nice and cozy. And then open your arms to a V with the palms facing up. Ensure that there's space between the legs, space between the armpits. And feel yourself soothed by the blanket on your body. Almost as if it were you embracing yourself, holding yourself in those situations that you think back on and wish had gone differently. Wish you'd showed up differently. Perhaps bringing one of those to mind now, let that situation rest in your heart. Notice the sadness, perhaps regret, maybe even shame. And let's balance out this scale with love, compassion, empathy for yourself in that situation. That you're also human, trying the best you could. Breathe even more expansively into this space so that you feel the blanket lift on your body. And maybe open the mouth and soft sigh out the mouth to release some of the heavy energy of this situation. And do this as many times as you need until you feel a little more settled. It's okay to feel this. All of this. And just like someone who loves you unconditionally would do for you, give yourself a little hug. Maybe take your hands to opposite shoulders here or across your body in some way. Allow there to be a glimmer of forgiveness, of compassion. For yourself. With a few more breaths in and out, start to put down that burden of the past, all the things that you replay in your mind. Just let them go on the exhale, holding yourself in this embrace. And now Open the arms back out into a V. A full breath in and a full breath out. Rest in what remains. Rest in the space, in the softness. Continuing to allow whatever's here to be here. It's all welcome. There's nothing to do here or fix here. You can be exactly as you are, and that's okay. You might choose to stay here for longer, but if now's the time to conclude the practice, reach one arm overhead, bend the knees in. You might take the blanket off to the side and roll to your arm that's overhead, resting and curling up into a ball, keeping the eyes closed. Feeling into the heart space. Push into the palms and lift yourself up to a seat. Take the palms together at the heart and again open into lotus. All of the fingers open except touching the thumbs and the pinkies. Breathe in fully. Breathe out slowly. Allow yourself to bloom. Allow yourself to grow with compassion and forgiveness for the journey, the times when you don't measure up to how you'd hoped you have been. Close the fingertips together. In gratitude and honor of all the realized beings who have come before to bring these practices to us. Release the palms, begin to open the eyes, and enter the space around you. Thanks so much for practicing with me. What an honor to share this space with you. I truly enjoy being here on the mat with you in your practice. If you want to practice again together sometime, check out all of my other restorative yoga videos here on my channel and subscribe so that you don't miss out when I post new classes weekly. Take good care. I'll see you next time.